Now we are going to understand how g varies, or at what rate g varies with the rotation of earth. Let us say this is the earth ray and it is rotating about its own axis. See, now some of you might be thinking that earth also is revolving around the sun, and because of that also there should be impact on acceleration due to gravity. So theoretically it's a yes, but that effect is so tiny because it's a huge radius. Earth is revolving about the sun, but the effect because of that entire rotation in 365 days is so small that we are ignoring it. Just like that, because of shape of earth also we ignored it. A little variation is there, but we ignore. So where it exactly gets impacted considerably, where we have to calculate it to be accurate, that's a height, with the height from earth's surface, with the depth from earth's surface, that also we have found from formula. Now we are going to see how with the rotation of earth it's being affected. Understand here, let us say here is the mass small m, okay, and this is the earth having mass capital M. That all the time we are taking these rotations. Let us say it is revolving like this from west to east with one angular speed of omega radian per second, okay, with omega it's rotating. Now see, the earth's radius, the earth will pull the object towards it with certain force, and that will be equal to mg, right? Mg force will be here. If mass of this is m, so mg force will be this side, it will be pulled, and we will be calling that it's a weight. However, since earth rotates with a tremendous speed in one day, in 24 hours or 3600 seconds, it's making one complete rotation, right? And the radius, you remember, it's 12,800 kilometers. So that much it is going, and with that if you can calculate out, it's making a very huge radius. Again it's coming back to the same point. So the m, if your gaze is focused only for the m, it's making motion like this, right? It's going like this, coming like this, going like this, coming like this. Let us say from here to here the radius is small r, okay, because from here to here this distance is a capital R. We are taking it all the time, that's why we are not changing the notation. This is a capital R, this is a R, let us say. And the angle from here, let us say, is theta. Okay, if this is theta, this angle also will be theta, because they are alternate angles, right? Fine. Now since it's rotating, from rotational motion, you know, there will be a centrifugal force, you may call it, or there will be a tendency to go away in this direction. It is making rotational motion like this, and that will be, centrifugal force will be equal to m omega square r. Yes or no? On the body, this body, and that there is one acceleration omega square r in this direction, and there is one acceleration g in this direction. This much force divided by m got cancelled, g is there. So g is in this direction and omega square r is in this direction. So what actually is the resultant acceleration due to gravity on the mass m is the resultant of these two vectors. These are vector quantities, right? So resultant, if we'll find, you know how to find the resultant of two vectors, right? So this is nothing but the line joining this and this. So this will be the resultant vector, m multiplied by g dash. So in this direction the resultant force will occur. So g dash or g prime is the resultant of g and omega square r. So omega square r is one vector and g is one vector, and the resultant of those two, g and omega square r, the two vectors, is g dash. So we are interested to calculate that g dash now, and this will be equal to summation of two vectors is what? I remind you, a plus b mod of that is equal to root under a square plus b square, where a, b are the magnitudes of the vector a and vector b, plus 2ab cos theta, where theta is the angle between a and b. So from that formula dictate here, g dash is equal to root under a square, one vector square, plus second vector square. Omega square r is the vector square of that. So omega fourth r square plus 2ab, 2g omega square r cos theta. Cos theta is a theta between these two vectors. From here to here it's 180 and theta is gone. So this is 180 minus theta, yes or no? So you can write cos 180 minus theta. Now what is cos 180 minus theta? Isn't it minus cos theta? So implies that g dash is equal to g square plus omega square, omega fourth r square plus 2g omega square r cos 180 minus theta is minus cos theta, so this became minus, and whole root under this much was there, so power half I have it. Is it absolutely clear? Now see some simple geometry. If from here you are seeing in this triangle, okay, in this triangle, or let me take some names, AB, let us take this is A, this is B. In triangle OAB, it's a right angle triangle. Can we say that a small r is equal to capital R cos theta? In this right angle triangle, small r by capital R, B by H is cos theta. So small r is equal to R cos theta. That if we can write it here, implies that g dash is equal to g square plus omega fourth r square minus 2g omega square. For r I am writing r cos theta, capital R cos theta multiplied by cos theta. So cos square theta whole to the power half. Again you see what is omega. We know that omega is equal to 2 pi by t, right, where t is the time period. And what is the time period of a rotation of earth? It's a 24 hours. So if we will calculate this thing, 2 pi divided by 24 hours, but in SI, second is the unit of time. The 24 hours multiplied by 60 minutes and 1 minute is 60 seconds. So this is 3600. So this is a 2 pi. So it is so small. 2 pi is a 3.14 here. So it's a 6 divided by so big number. So omega is extremely tiny, very, very tiny. And if omega is very, very tiny, omega fourth will be this again and again 4 times it will come down. It is negligibly small, right? So we will eliminate the term which contains omega fourth. Implies that g dash is equal to g square minus 2g omega square r cos square theta whole to the power half. Why? Since omega is very small, implies that omega fourth is extremely small, and hence neglected. Implies that g dash is equal to, take g square common from this, g square 1 minus 2 omega square r cos square theta divided by g whole to the power half. Yes or no? Now this much is implies that g dash is equal to g multiplied by 1 minus 2 omega square r cos square theta divided by g whole to the power half. See, this to the power half, g square to the power half, it becomes g, and this much, right? Now see, this is 1 minus omega square is extremely small. One extremely small multiplied by this entire thing is extremely small divided by g is less than 1, and this is the condition where we can apply the binomial theorem. And what binomial theorem says? 1 minus x to the power n is equal to 1 minus nx. This applying binomial theorem here I am writing applying binomial theorem to the above, what we are getting? G dash or G prime is equal to, see, 1 minus this entire thing is our x, 1 minus x to the power n. So this n you bring this side, but g multiplied by 1 minus this half will come, 2 will get cancelled, omega square r cos square theta divided by g. Right? Now to bring into the format where binomial theorem could be applied, we took g square common, but now multiply it again, or g dash is equal to g minus omega square r cos square theta. This is the final expression how g is impacted due to the rotation of earth. Whenever we are taking at what point, at what exact point, if we find that point, it will be making some angle with the equatorial line, and that angle is a theta we are taking. And what are the other things you know already. Fine. Now here there are some special cases. You write it down quickly so that I can erase it a little to make some space. Then see, from here we are explaining, okay, there are some special cases. That is, first case let us take. This object is lying at the equator, exactly at the equator. This is case 1. If it is equator, what will be theta? Theta is equal to 0 degree or 0. If theta is equal to 0, what will be the formula? G dash. If the object is lying on the equator, then G dash will be G minus omega square r. This much only, because this is cos square theta, cos square 0, cos 0 is 1, so cos square so 1 square is 1 only, so only this much remain. This will be the formula for the equator. That is, if the body or object, whatever you say, is on the equator. Special case 2, when the object is at the pole, when it is at the pole, what will be the G dash? So theta will be how much? If it is on the pole, the theta is increasing, it will become 90 degree, right? Theta is equal to 90 degree. That is, the body is at the pole of earth. Okay. Now here, what will be the acceleration due to gravity? G dash will be equal to, see, cos 90 is equal to 0. This entire term becomes 0. G dash will be equal to G. G dash is equal to G. That means at the pole, the acceleration due to gravity is just the acceleration due to gravity what we calculated for the average radius of Earth, G, what we have called Gm by r square, right? So which will be greater? This is the least, right? Minimum. As you can see, from G, the maximum thing is subtracted. If it is coming like this, a little less thing is subtracted, and when it comes to the top, whatever is subtracted from G, that entire portion is 0. So nothing is subtracted. G dash is equal to G. And the third point is the body is placed anywhere. So I am just writing theta is equal to theta. That is anywhere in between these two. Then this is our formula. G dash is equal to G minus omega square r cos square theta. Alright. So these are the formulae which we can take up with the variation of G with the Earth's rotation. And on this also we will do one problem so that we gain a little confidence. Now what we have derived already, the variation of G according to the height. For that the formula is this. And if the height is very near the Earth's surface, the formula, corollary, a derived formula we could form. But this is the main formula with height. If it is varying, this is always true, right? This is the formula. Now, according to the depth, where we have written it here, right? This one, right? Depth. With the variation of depth, how G is varying. And because of a rotation of Earth, we found some special cases like when theta is 0, that is when the object is lying on the equator, there's one formula. When it's on the pole, there's one formula, but it is derived from the same formula. Where theta is anything, any angle, anywhere it is lying. This is this formula. So this formula, and this formula. The variation of a g according to height, the variation of a g according to change in depth, and the variation of a g according to change in rotation. This thing you understood. According to change in rotation, what is the period of rotation? If that is increased or decreased, or the theta it's varying, because of those things it can be changing. Now read the question, note down the question, pause the video, try it yourself, then if you don't get, or even if you want to match my solution with your solution, you can continue watching the video. The question says, suppose the increases, what increases? The earth increases, right? Suppose the earth increases, E-A-R-T-H, earth. Suppose the earth increases its speed of rotation, full stop. At what new time period will the weight of a body on the equator become 0? Okay, small g and the radius of earth, these two are given in the question. What it asks is, what happens if rotation of earth increases? It's increasing with the omega, right? Omega something around radian per second. Omega is equal to 2 pi by t, we know that, right? Omega is equal to 2 pi by t, where t is the time period of rotation. In this case, rotation of earth is 24 hours, you know, as of now it is so. But the rotation is increased, so time period will decrease, right? If time period decreases, what will happen? If rotation is increasing, this is, if omega speed is increased, angular speed will be increased, then g will decrease, yes or no? G will decrease because g minus whatever this minus portion is increasing. So if we will make it faster and faster and faster, this omega will increase. So g minus what factor is there, a time will come that will become equal to g. So g minus g will become 0. That means at that speed of rotation of earth, it's a hypothetical concept. Let us say that earth is increasing its speed of rotation. That's given in the question, right? If it is increased, then at what time the particle's weight will become 0 is the question, right? That means the acceleration due to gravity will become 0. Then whatever is the mass multiplied by 0 will be 0, weight will become 0, right? Now where is that object? It is saying at what new time period will the weight of the body on the equator becomes 0. So on the equator, here the body is lying, small m, its mass, and earth's mass is capital M. So if it will be increasing, its speed is increasing, time period will decrease, right? It will become, in a very less time it will make one complete rotation. So if we increasing the speed at what time period is asking? Yes, at what time period the weight of this body will become 0 is the question. So what is the formula of acceleration due to gravity at equator? That is g minus omega square r. This is the formula we are going to use, because it's given clearly, it's on the equator. But this much has to be 0. This much will be equal to 0 at what omega is the question. Okay, fine. Now what we can say is g minus omega square r is equal to 0, or what we can say, g is equal to omega square r, or omega is equal to root under g by r. Yes or no? Omega square is equal to g by r, so omega is equal to root under g by r. And we know what omega is equal to 2 pi divided by t. So 2 pi divided by t is equal to root under g by r, implies that t is equal to this comes this side, 2 pi root under r by g. Yes or no? This is the formula we got. T is equal to 2 pi root under r by g. So t will be equal to 2 pi, to take a pi 3.14 root under r divided by g. So r is given in the question. R is given in the question. How much? 6000. You take this 6400000 divided by g is another 10. So this much will be the answer. but this answer will be in SI unit. Everything we have taken in SI unit, right? So these many seconds will come, right? But in hour, T will be equal to this much, whatever is coming, you solve this much divided by 3600 you have to do, because 1 hour is equal to 3600 seconds. So this much, how much ever is coming, those many hours. And if you solve it, the final answer is coming 1.4 hour. That means at when the Earth's time period is 1.4 hour, that time this weight of this object will be 0. You do the calculation, match the final answer. When you solve this much, whatever in a second it's coming, divided by 3600, if you do, that is coming 1.4 hour. At this point of time, now currently Earth's naturally the rotation, the time period of rotation is 24 hours. When that will become 1.4 hour, at that time the body at the equator, the body on the equator will have no weight, or it will appear to be weightless. The acceleration due to gravity on that body will be 0. The idea is absolutely clear, I hope. Wish you all the best.